Hello, my name is Mindy Lee. I am the Public Relations and Events Manager for the Kansas Small Business Development Center. And today I am here with Vince Hayworth, the Director for the Kansas SBDC Capital Access Center. Thank you, Vince, for joining us today.
My pleasure, Mindy. It's great to be on with you today.
So being the director of the Capital Access Center, it's a relatively new center for the Kansas SBDC.
Right.
For those who are unfamiliar with it, could you provide a little bit of an overview of what exactly is the CAC?
Sure, that's a great question. To your point, we're really the only ones doing this as a standalone capital center dedicated to capital here at the SBDC. So we get this question quite a bit, but we'll go ahead and just kind of give a little bit of a brief history about the Capital Access Center and what we do and what the whole concept is. But we were funded out of the CARES Act of 2020. And the reason is when the Kansas SBDC looked at the numbers, one of the areas that they really wanted to improve on was access to capital for their clients. And although the numbers were good, that was one area that we felt at the time that we could improve on. So when the funding came in for the CARES Act, our state director and assistant state director thought, how can we do this? And so the state director used to be a banker. And so his thought is let's start a center that's entirely dedicated to getting capital for our clients. And being a former banker, his thought was, one of the reasons why maybe our numbers weren't as good as they could be is a lot of times going through that process of getting financing through a bank, unless you speak their language, can be a very difficult process for a business owner. The business owner might be really good at making widgets, but dealing with bankers and different banks, it can be a really hard experience for someone. So the concept came out of that is to get our clients capital being a standalone center. One of the great things is we're an independent consulting service. So we don't work for the bank, we work for you. And so that was kind of how it actually came about. I had been a volunteer with the KSBDC for 8 years. And when they came to me with this concept, I loved it. I thought it was a great concept and I was on board right away.
That's awesome. So in a nutshell, if somebody needs money for their business, you're the guy to talk to.
Yeah, I think you could probably say that. We work with clients too. We do test reviews and eligibility screen. We'll talk about some of those services that we offer. But yeah, I mean, the concept is a lot of times people look at us and they kind of think of us as maybe a loan broker, but we're nonprofit. We don't charge for that. So yeah, we do. We work directly with our clients of the SBDCs and their advisors, and we work through them every step of the way through the funding process and afterwards.
So what are some of the services that the CAC can provide for your clients?
Yeah, that's a great, I think there's a couple things that really stand out. We do we run test scenarios with our clients, just like a bank would. So we take their underwriting policies and we map over a client to a loan presentation to see where the strengths and weaknesses of the clients. And so the concept is we want to try to mitigate any kind of weaknesses upfront before they actually go to the banker and the bank. And so that can really change the opinion of a banker, especially when they're in an underwriting scenario. So we'll run mock underwriting. We'll also work with them on their structure of their loan. Sometimes the client may want a line of credit, but maybe they don't have the receivables to back it up. And really what they do need is permanent working capital, or maybe they need a 504 loan as opposed to a conventional loan. So we work with that client to find the best structure for their business and what's going to help them. And we also look at one of the, I think, unique things that we do is that we we work with our clients to find the best financing resource for them. And everybody asks, why is there 20 banks on every corner? And you go down the road and you'll see all these different banks and you wonder, why are there so many banks? Well, the reason is because they all work with different industries. They all have lending specialties. And so part of our job here at the CAC is to find out what their specialties are. You hear horror stories about people, they've went to 20 banks and they got 20 denials. Well, a lot of times that's because these banks may not like what you do, unfortunately. So they all have these specialty lending things that they do. So one of the most important things is finding the right match for your business. So if you're in the restaurant or hotel industry and you're going to all these different banks, they may not, unfortunately, they may not have an interest in doing your particular loan just based on the industry. And so that's why you see all these people, they, they're, I went to 10 different banks and I got 10 different denials, or, no one seems to be interested in things. Well, what the key is you have to find the right financing resource for your industry. And that is so important, or you're just wasting a lot of time. So what we do is we kind of play matchmaker, if you will. So we'll take that client. One of our jobs is to keep a pulse on all the banks throughout the state of Kansas to find out what kind of lending they like to do. Are they an SBA lender? Do they like to do construction financing? Do they only like manufacturing? Our job is to be in touch with these banks and find out what their credit policies are to save you time and the bank time. So that's one of the other things that we do. I think that's probably one of the key factors in what we do is finding those right financing resources for the client.
Wow. So you guys offer quite an extensive list of services for clients. So I mean, naturally, I think the next question is, does it cost anything to work with the Capital Access Center? Because it seems like there's a lot of help there. So
I know sometimes you wonder, it's how can this be free? And when I first heard of the SBDC and all the services they provide, I couldn't believe it was a free resource, taxpayer funded. And you sometimes you think, how could something be so good when it's free? And it's hard to get your arms around it, but the CAC actually is a free service. The CARES Act was extended until next year, September 2022. So we know that we'll continue to offer our services for free until that time. One of the things that, if you were to go out and there's loan brokers out there, they kind of do somewhat similar. They'll shop you around, but they'll charge clients, and we don't do that. We may work with a loan broker, but our clients are not having to pay their fees. So that's another advantage of working with us. And of course, we get our clients ready to be bankable. A typical loan broker will not do that.
So you offer a wide range of services. It doesn't cost anything to get those services. So if a client needed your help, what would be the best way for them to get started? How could a client start working with the Capital Access Center?
Okay, great question. We have a lot of different avenues you can go as far as working with Capital Access Center. Probably one of the most common is obviously that you have to be a client of the SBDC before we can start working with you. The sign-up process is super simple. We have our call center that you can work with. I don't have the number right here, but you also have our website. You can go to capitalaccesscenter.com. You can sign up there. We'll get an email saying that you're interested in our services. If you're already a member of the KSBDC, you can talk to your advisor. We do not take the place of your advisor. We work with your advisor to get you capital. So just a conversation with them stating that you want to work with the CAC is good. And we do have people that contact me directly through my email. Call me. We've got lots of centers of influence out there that do that, and I just get them directed to the right development center, no matter where you're at in Kansas, and then we get you signed up. And the sign up process for the SBDC is super simple, online, takes you about 10 to 15 minutes. As soon as you sign up with us, we can start having those conversations.
And I do believe you guys also have a website people could go directly to as well, would be the capitalaccesscenter.com would be a good place to get started as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
So are there any, do you have any final thoughts? Is there anything else that people should know about the Capital Access Center before they get started?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that come to mind. You know, we're one of the great things about what we're doing here is being a former banker of 20 plus years and working in the SBA lending division, doing those kind of things. We're independent advisors, so we're really looking to get you the best situation that you can be. So sometimes what we do is we'll have multiple offers on the table from banks. We help you sort through those, and here's the pros and cons of each deal. You know, ultimately you have to make the decision, but that's one of the things that we can work with you on too. And we also work with businesses at every stage and any loan amount. We have conversations with people that have concept of the business. Is it a viable business plan? Is this a viable business? One of the things that will most people can't afford to start a business entirely on their own. So financing is a key component of starting every business. So having that conversation from the beginning can really help you with your overall plans of starting a business. So we'll work with you from any stage of your business, from the beginning of the business. Say you're a mature company, you've been in business 30+ years. We can work with you there. You want to expand, you're thinking about getting a building now, or there's all expanding your manufacturing and equipment. We can help guide you through that process, and also plan for the future. That's one thing I think a lot of people forget. You know, looking from a long-term scalability of your business is also a really important part of owning a business. And just one last thing is, again, I wanted to kind of stress the amounts too. You know, we have had many successes since we started, and we've done $30,000 loans and we've done $2 million loans. So we have a very wide variety. We work with all kinds of different demographics of clients all over the state of Kansas. We really have a unique concept here in Kansas only. We're the only dedicated capital access center throughout the SBDC system. There's some SBDCs that are doing something similar, but no one else is doing this on a full-time dedicated basis. So we're really proud of that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to kind of talk a little bit about the Capital Access Center. For anybody interested in learning more about them, you can go to the website, www.capitalaccesscenter.com. You can find more information on what the CAC does, as well as contact information for events. And if you want to learn more about the Kansas SBDC in general, you can go to our website, kansassbdc.net. So again, thank you so much, Vince. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.